Hey guys, welcome back to Laura's Little Luxuries. My name's Laura, and here on my channel I like to share all kinds of little luxuries that I bring into my life, even as I live on a budget. Today I'm filming some viewer requests, and a couple of people have asked me recently if I could make a video about how to list a bag on Treet, how to navigate Treet, all about Treet. So that's what we're looking at today, and Treet is the Portland leather goods resale site. So I've actually pulled up the main Treet website. They have different brands that they work with. So I'll just pull up the screen here so that you guys can see as I go through it. But as you can see on the landing page here, I typed in, I just typed Treet into my browser. Let's do it from scratch. You can see it autofills because I go there frequently. But if I just typed in like Treet and hit enter, it would pull this up, and this would take me to the main page. So I could either click on that and then find the Portland leather goods square on this main page, or as you can see, it also shows the Portland leather link, which I think it's showing me because I've gone there before. You can see the like history here. So let's just look at it from the main page. You'll have to scroll down until you see the Portland leather square. You click on that, and this takes you into their dedicated Treet page. So if you want to, you can just browse, right? Like I can look at the homepage. These are all of the recently listed bags. It's sorted right now by most relevant, but I could change this to newest or pricing, however I want to do it. I think it usually shows me recent stuff first, but it might also show me things that I've like searched for in the past on that most relevant setting. So you can see there's lots of good stuff here on Treet. Oh, there's an almond zippered Lola. Tempting, but I did just sell one of these, so I should probably resist that. Anyway, lots of good stuff, and you can search. There's a little search button up here, so if I wanted to see what bags they have in Dream right now, I can search the color Dream, and it'll pull up all of the items that say that they're Dream. Now, sometimes on Treet you have to be careful because people will do their best to identify colors, but every once in a while someone gets it wrong, so it's important to like really look at the photos and make sure that the item looks like what you're expecting. So there's obviously some good Dream stuff right now. I'm not really in the market to purchase today. What I'm trying to do is list a bag. So if you were trying to list a bag on Treet, the first thing to do would be to make sure that you're logged in. So I'm logged in. There's the option to log out. If you're not, you would want to either create an account or just go ahead and log into your account. And then the easiest way to do it, in my opinion, is to just go here to sell your item. You can go through, and I'm kind of afraid to show you guys my purchase history here, but it will pull up your orders from either the website or if you purchased in store. So I could go through and look at previous orders and pick an item. So like down here, what I'm listing today is my Supernova Classic Nora. And you can see that I've got 3 Nora shoulder bags that I purchased in store. But because those are like kind of weird listings, they don't have a picture or anything with them, and they don't tell me what the size, I'm actually just going to come up here and I'm going to act like it's not something that I purchased from the website or from the store, and I'm going to just type in Nora. I'm going to select the Nora shoulder bag and then click next to go on to item details. So here I will say what size it is. It's a classic Nora, so I'm going to call that a small because I think when people are talking about it, they're more likely to call it a small versus a large Nora. And then the color is probably not going to be listed here because it was not actually released in this color. It's a unicorn, so if it was a color that was sold on the website, I could select it here, but because it's not, I'm going to click on Don't See Your Option, and then up here I can just type in Supernova. Okay, I'm going to select the condition. Mine is new. I've never used it. I brought it home from the store, showed it to you guys in a video, and that's all I've done. So mine is new. If you had used it like once or twice and it didn't have any damage to it, you could do excellent. If you've used it quite a bit, but it's still in good shape, that's when you would select good. And there are descriptions here to help you decide which level of condition your bag is. All right, the next section is quirks, and this one I think is important because different people have different standards about what they want in their leather. So I like a lot of character and chunky, uneven pebbles, and I don't mind striations or wrinkles and that kind of stuff, but some people really want like a pristine bag. So this is where you can really cover your behind and make sure that your listing is honest about the condition of your bag. I tend to check off as many of these as might apply. So with this one, I'm going to say that there is wrinkling, scars and character marks, and uneven pebbling because my Nora that I have is kind of chunky and it's not like perfectly smooth leather. So I want to cover myself in case whoever buys this bag receives it and they notice that like, oh, this isn't perfectly smooth. I don't want them to come back and say that I didn't disclose flaws. Okay. Then there's the description, and I'm just going to type up a pretty generic description here. Okay, so my little description that I came up with here says, brand new, never used unicorn Nora from the Twin Cities PLG outlet. I purchased this bag hoping to fall in love with the shape, but it doesn't quite work for my needs. My loss is your gain. Supernova is a gorgeous true rose gold color, and this bag would be perfect for holiday parties or just to jazz up a casual outfit. So I always try to write a little bit in my description about just the special qualities of whatever bag it is, and I do tend to find special qualities about every bag that I have, so that's not hard for me. And usually I'm not selling a bag because I don't like it, I'm selling it because it just doesn't fit perfectly into my collection. So I want to make sure to point out all of the positives about it, that this bag really is beautiful, it's a unicorn, it's one that you can't buy on the website, it's in brand new condition, and it really would be great for someone who's wanting just kind of a jazzy special bag, either for special occasions or just because they like to have that in their everyday life. So that's what I'm going to put here. I always try to highlight that like this bag didn't work for me, but it definitely could work for you, right? Like you want to be able to sell your item. So the description is done. Now I'm going to come down to the photo area, and I'm going to get rid of all of these stock photos because they don't have my color. If they had a Supernova stock photo, I would leave that, but they don't. So I'm just going to get rid of all of them. And now it's time for my photos. So I took photos the other day of all three of those bags that I purchased because I listed them on some of the BST groups on Facebook. So I already have them on my computer. If you didn't already have them, you could take them on your phone now and either send them to your computer, or you can do this from your phone as well. So however you want to get the pictures, I find it easiest to just like take them on my phone and then I airdrop them to my computer and then I upload them from my computer just because I feel like it's easier to do it all on my computer. But if you were sitting here on your computer and you wanted to just upload them from your camera library, there is actually a QR code here, as you can see, that if I took a picture of that QR code, it would sync it with my phone and I could add the pictures from my phone and continue doing the rest of it on here. So you have options. However you like to get your photos on there, go for it. I am going to just drag my pictures over, and that's how I'm going to do it. So I don't know why it keeps doing this. In my folder, it keeps like reorganizing how the pictures are all laid out. But I know that these are the pictures of the classic. These ones were the large over here. So I'm going to just select all the ones that I want. There's a front picture and a back picture and a bottom and an inside. You have to upload at least 3 photos. I try to do as many as I think it takes to show off the whole bag. If there's like a flaw somewhere on the bag, I'll try to take a close-up of that and upload an individual picture of that flaw, just because I really want people to have the full picture of what this bag looks like before they buy it. I've been really lucky and I've never had anybody dispute a Treet sale before, but they can do that. So if you send somebody a bag that doesn't quite match how it was pictured, or the description, or you didn't disclose issues with the bag, they can come back and say, hey, this isn't what I expected and I want my money back. So I don't want that to happen. This has been happening to me lately where when I put the photos in, they show up gray like this, but I have learned, and this is something that you want to do on your photos anyway, is remove the background. And I've learned that when I go in to remove the background, it fixes whatever this issue is. So I'm going to click these three dots and then hit edit photo and then do background removal, remove background, give it a second. And then when it's done, I'll save it. And now you can see it's showing the picture down here. So again, I don't know what that's about, but luckily I figured out how to make it work. All right, so I'm gonna do that with all of these pictures, and I will come back when I'm done with that process because it's kind of boring. So the backgrounds are removed from all of these photos, and I have to make sure which one of these is the front. Okay, so these two they're all out of order. I want this one right here to be the first, this one to be the second, this to be the third, and this to be the last. So because these two are already in the order I want, what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag them into the like drop files here box in the order that I want them to go, and then I'm going to delete the ones that are too early. So this one is going to go next. You'll give it a second to upload. Now it's going to go third in line. And then I'm going to do this one to make it be the last. And I'm going to delete these two so that they're all in the order I want. This one is now the cover, but if there was a different photo I wanted to be the cover, I could select that here. I could set as cover here, but I do actually want this one to be the cover, so that works. It really kind of annoys me how this photo upload process works. I mean, it works okay, but I just find it to be kind of glitchy and weird, so you have to mess with it a little bit. It does make a huge difference in selling your bags if you have good photos. So make sure you've got good lighting. If you don't have great lighting in your house, like I've got studio lights here, and even with the studio lights, sometimes it's hard to capture the true color of a bag. So you really want natural light. So if you've got a spot in your house where there's like a big window that lets in a lot of natural light, take your photos there, make sure that they are lit from the front with the light and not backlit. And it's going to move your bags a lot faster if people can see them clearly. If it's a high quality photo that shows your item in good natural light that gives them a clear sense of what that item will look like in person. Trust me, that's the best way to eliminate disputes. And it just really helps people get a good idea of what they're purchasing. They'll be much more confident clicking that buy button if they know what they're getting. The last thing that I need to do is decide on a price. So the original price, I have no idea what the outlet said the original price was. This is a unicorn, so it's kind of hard to say. I'm just going to say the original price was maybe, I don't know, $160. You know that PLG always marks up their original price, and usually that's what autofills. It's like the full retail price. And I'm going to list it. I'm actually really not in a hurry to sell this bag. I'm kind of on the fence about maybe just keeping it. So I'm going to price it kind of high. And if someone wants to pay that, that's fine. I'll send it to them. And if it just sits there, that's okay too. I'll just keep it in my collection, and we'll just see how the universe works that out. So I'm going to set it for $150 because I think that I would feel okay letting it go for that price. But again, if it doesn't sell, I'm okay with that. So I put the original price in that I made up. If you're listing from like one that you purchased, that'll autofill. Or if you select one that has like all of the details already there, if it was, you know, like a nutmeg Nora or something, it would fill in the original price. But again, I had to make it up. So I said $160. I'm pricing mine at $150. And then I'm just going to come down here and click submit. You can see my other listings here. I've got some that are just sitting. I've considered changing the price on these. When you do update the price, it will like kick it back into the front of the queue. So sometimes that's a good thing to do, even if you don't want to change the price significantly. Like last week, I think I dropped this Verona from 89 down to 79 because it just wasn't selling. This Snap Mini backpack, I've already got at 65. I don't think I want to put it any lower than that. The Rancher and the Wrap Journal have been sitting here for a long time. I might lower those prices. It just seems like people aren't super excited to purchase these at the price that they're at, so it might help to lower them. But I mean, you can also see how many items I've sold. There were some items that I sold elsewhere, like on the buy sell trade sites, so that's why these listings are just closed. I didn't want to delete them because I like to keep a record of the items that I've sold. So this is a good way for me to just keep track. Even though I didn't sell it on Treet, I know that I sold it somewhere else and I can come back and look at the item, like this Cinnamon Bear tote. I can see the pictures of it that I took. Remember like what I had it priced at. So I just leave my closed listings up there. But let's say like with the Snap backpack, if I have a pending transaction or if I've like listed it as part of a sale thread in another group or something, I can come in here and click edit listing. Actually, that wasn't the right thing to do. If I wanted to edit it, I could come in here and change the description or update condition, put in new photos. I could change the price. If I wanted to close the listing, then I would click on the three dots and just hit close listing. I could also delete it, but like I said, I don't like to do that. So it's really easy. If you're trying to sell a bag somewhere else, you just come in and close the listing. That protects you from accidentally selling it here while you're trying to sell it somewhere else. Highly recommend, if you're going to be cross-listing things, to close your Treet listings until you know that that bag is still available, and then you can always come back and reopen it. So what happens when you sell an item? I wish that I had an item here that I had recently sold or that like I hadn't shipped out yet. All of these, as you can see, have already been totally completed and paid. But when you sell an item, you'll get an email from Treet letting you know that it's sold. And then I like to do it within the first 24 hours. I think you have up to 72 hours. Actually, I think you have up to a week to send out the item. That's a long time though, and it can really stress out buyers when you don't at least confirm that you're sending it out within the first day or two. There's nothing worse than making a purchase on Treet and then sitting there for a week wondering if you're actually going to get your item before the seller finally just cancels it or it times out and you don't get anything. So you will get your money back, of course, if that happens, but we don't need to stress out our buyers. Okay, so when you receive the notification that your item has sold, you're going to click on the link in the email, or you can always come up here to your sales. It'll pull up this page. If there was one that hadn't been like totally processed yet, then it would show me here an option to print my shipping label. So I would click on that. They send you a PDF document of the shipping label, so you don't have to pay for the shipping as a seller. And then I have a printer at home, so I use like half sheet label paper, and I just print it on that, so it's already sticky. It's very easy to just print it, peel it, stick it on the box. You will need to enter a weight for the box. I do this often enough that I just kind of know how to estimate, but you can use a kitchen scale. If you don't have a kitchen scale, you could try standing on your bathroom scale with and without the package and, you know, finding the difference. You need an approximate weight. I always estimate up a little bit if I'm kind of on the fence. And that's pretty much it. You just print the label, slap it on, make sure it's all packaged up nicely. I like to include a little note, a thank you note, and maybe like some little fun-sized candies or stickers or whatever I might have that I could just throw in the box. Make sure it's taped up really well. I package my items in the original tissue, if at all possible, and then I also put it in an unscented plastic bag. Please, please, please do not put your items in a scented trash bag. I know that that's a thing that people do sometimes when they're new to this and they don't even think about it, but those scents really permeate the leather, and some people are just very sensitive to fragrances. I'm not personally, but I would be kind of sad if I received a bag that smelled like a lavender trash bag. So I'm always very careful to use unscented plastic bags In fact, a lot of the time I actually just end up using grocery bags because they're the right size for a lot of the purses that I send out. And I'll double bag it. So like if the handles, leave a space open, I'll put it in one grocery bag and then I'll put another one upside down over the top of it. And that works pretty well. I always make sure that those don't have any kind of like sticky residue or anything on them. But it's a good way to reuse your grocery bags and protect the bags that you're shipping from any kind of like moisture or spills that might happen in transit. So I think those are all of my tips. I guess I should say the tracking or the label that you receive from Treet is always USPS. So I just take it to my local post office. I think you can also have USPS folks come and pick up your packages, so you could schedule that through the post office website. But yeah, it's pretty simple. And then as the seller, you send it out, you can follow the tracking info to see where your bag is along the way. Once it's delivered, it'll show that it's been delivered here on the Treet system. And then the buyer has 72 hours to verify that purchase. A lot of times in my note, I will leave a kind reminder to please verify your purchase when you've opened it and confirmed that it's how you expected. People sometimes don't know that they need to verify. They will receive an email telling them to do that. But, some people don't check their emails every single day, or that email just looks like junk and it gets lost. So a helpful reminder is always nice, but I try to be very kind and not too pushy about it, because I know that if the buyer doesn't verify within 72 hours, Treet is going to automatically process that sale through and I'll receive my credit or my payout at that point. The nice thing about Treet, for those of us who are addicted to PLG, is that you have the option of receiving cash for your sale or store credit, and when you choose store credit, you get a boost. So I think that typically the boost is like 10 or 15% of the sale price, and then they take a cut if you get cash, so I think they take 10% maybe. I'm not remembering off the top of my head the exact amount. Let's look at the FAQs. What are the fees? Okay, so, it's a lot actually. Okay, so yeah, you would get a boost of 10% store credit, or you pay a fee of 20%. So if I sold a $100 bag, I would only receive $80 in cash, but I would receive $110 in store credit. So I almost always pick the store credit because I know that I'm going to end up purchasing more PLG items. So for me, it makes sense to get that credit boost and just be able to stretch my money a little bit further. If I wasn't as addicted to these items and I wasn't planning to make another purchase from PLG in the near future, it would probably make more sense to just pay that $20 fee and take the $80. You do have to factor in that like they pay for the shipping. So if I sold a $100 bag on a BST site, I would be paying for the shipping myself. So I'd probably only be making like $90 on it. So, it's a little bit of back and forth. They do a lot of the back end work. They guarantee the sale. They like ensure that everything is going to work out smoothly. And if the bag gets lost in transit, they'll make everybody whole, that kind of thing. So there is something to be said for the value of somebody else handling the back end stuff. But I usually go for the store credit. I think that that's really all I have to share with you guys. So please let me know down in the comments if you have any other questions about the Treet process. It's really pretty easy once you do it. If you've ever done any kind of buying or selling online through like Poshmark or Mercari or eBay even, it'll feel relatively familiar to you. I find it to be pretty simple. I do enjoy doing BST through the groups because of just the ease of communication between buyer and seller and that immediate payout for the seller. Like, it's nice to be able to be paid on the front end of a sale. But if I'm not in a hurry and I want the store credit, then Treet is a really good option for that. There's also a bigger market on Treet, I think. There are people who come here who don't shop the BST sites. So your item might be seen by somebody who wouldn't otherwise see it over on Facebook. There was one thing that I forgot to tell you, and that is that it will actually take a little while for my posting to go live. If I go to my listings page, it's not going to show that Nora as actively listed yet. Somebody on the back end of Treet has to approve every listing. So sometimes it happens quickly, but sometimes they get backed up and it takes like 24 hours. So just know that like it's not going to be an immediate thing that your listing goes live. You will get an email when your listing is live so that you know, especially if you've like got it cross-posted. That's helpful to know like if it has gone up on Treet yet or not. But they're usually pretty good about it, and I would say 90% of the time by the next morning after I've posted it, the listing is live. A lot of times they process overnight. So, okay, just wanted to make sure that I shared that with you guys. Again, let me know if there are any questions about something that I didn't cover. Chime in down in the comments if I left something out that you want to make sure other people know about. But that's all I've got for today, so thank you guys so much for watching. Please give this video a thumbs up if you found it helpful or just enjoyed watching it. Go ahead and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already done so. Hit that bell icon so you get notified every time I post a new video, and I will see you guys in the next one.